He usually does like these beautiful, like encouraging like things. And he was like, you know what? If you want something positive to go into the new year and the 2026, go into the new year knowing that George Zimmerman.
You reposted it on your story.
Is homeless.
I saw that.
Can't find a job. Is being harassed and has gained a bunch of weight.
I hope his nightmares are haunted.
And I was like, I hope the bottom of your feet always feel like you stepping on Legos.
Yes. At the end of that, I was like, suffer. Yes, I'm here for that.
I want every time you go to the bathroom and close your pants, you still got to dribble a little pee.
I hope every time you think you fired, it's not a fart.
Ooh.
That's what I want for you. I want that for you forever.
I want every time you pick up a piece of paper, you get a paper cut.
And nobody.
Every time. No matter what.
Nobody finds you attractive ever. You just look like wallpaper.
I want you permanently to touch every doorknob with static electricity. This is what I want for the rest of your life.
And whatever your favorite drink is, I want the doctor to tell you can't have that no more, you might die.
I want every beer, every alcoholic drink you drink tastes like urine.
You felt like you won, and I want you to feel like your life is over.
It
was so great. I remember when you reposted that, I was like, yes, Roger, he gets it.
I think we're good to go. You ready?
Yes.
All right, here we go. This is Brunch, Blaze, and Battle,
where we eat, elevate, and talk about
media trends from the past,
the present,
and the future
from a Black perspective.
I'm your host, Roger Turner.
And I'm your host, Alexis Bertrand.
So sit back,
spark up,
and let's get into it. Hey, Alexis.
Hey, Roger, baby. How you doing?
I am good. I'm doing all right. It's that time of year where it's like right after the holidays.
Oh, God.
You know what that one thing that annoys the crap out of me?
What?
Is out of season decorations.
And why is the tree still up?
Ooh, that wears
Why
me.
Is your tree still up? I know, it gets on my nerves too.
That wears me seeing decorations still
up. Why your windows still blinking like that?
I mean, we still at the period where it's okay. But next week.
That is... After this weekend, I feel like it's problematic.
Listen, if I show somewhere next Monday and we still got decorations up, I'm gonna talk about it.
I don't want to hear nobody Jingle Bell Rock. I don't want to hear nobody. It's the most wonderful. Shut up! I don't want to hear that no more. Shut up! Shut the hell up! I don't want to hear none of that no more. Put it up. You will be judged accordingly.
How was your brunch?
My brunch was fabulous. Wintertime, I get really, I think it might be true for a lot of people, but I love all things fried. I got to work on it. It gets cold outside, and I just want everything fried. I want it deep fried. I want it laid to the side. So, I don't have me a piece of fish.
Comfort.
And by a piece of fish, I had about three and a half.
Piece of fried fish? What kind of fish?
It was haddock.
Ooh, okay.
And I was in a mood. I hadn't had it in so long.
I had haddock in a while.
Ooh, baby. There was a couple spots. A little spot up in Harlem. I had me some fish, and just some fish and grits. Just fish and some grits, a little egg, little scrambled egg, little hot sauce. That's all it is, and that's what God called me for today. What'd you have?
Well, I had my usual, vegetable smoothie.
Oh, you get on my dang on nerves. You always make me. I'll be listening to our past episodes. Okay, here we go with the plus. Help me out now.
With my protein, I had a protein shake. Some coconut milk and some vegan protein powder. And we're going to talk about that. So this is...
You sound so good and healthy.
My diet choices are going to change dramatically, and we're going to talk about that in some of the documentaries that we watched. Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
Okay,
but on a scale of 1 to 10, how high are you?
Famous Fish Market. That's the name of it.
Famous Fish Market.
Where you can, because you get to pick your fish right there. It's all fresh right there, and they will cook it right there.
And where?
So it's like a fish market. It's on it's Amsterdam. It's West Harlem.
Okay.
So yeah. I love that place. You pick out your fish, they fry right there, 10 minutes, you ready to go.
Okay, Famous Fish Market. Scale of 1 to 10.
I'm at it like a 7. I'm feeling good right now. It's like a nice solid 7.
Okay, good. I'm still cooking. I'm at a 6.
Okay. When you cook, you simmer fast though, so I ain't worried about it.
This is our first episode of the new
It
year.
is. Oh my God! Happy New Year, girl.
We had a little bit of a break,
Yes,
so
we did.
we're back.
We did.
I hope we enjoyed your holiday. Did you?
I honestly, I did. I was ill for a lot of it, but it forced me to like just stop moving so fast and stop trying to do everything all at once. I really got to be still, and that was beautiful. So lots of catching up on shows and films and TV and reading books. It was great. I don't know. I think we have some brunches out there that really like reading as well, but I find it so... I just love reading a good book. Like just, 20 pages here, stop, 20 pages there a night. Like it really feels good. So I got to read it. I got through a couple of books, actually 3 books that I wanted and a bunch of films. So it was great. How was yours?
Good. I am very much a visual learner. Like reading is very difficult for me.
Understand.
So I'll either do an audiobook. I do a lot of podcasts. I listen to a lot of podcasts that are not us. But I also do a lot of what we're talking about today. So I do watch a lot of documentaries.
Yes.
You want to tell the people what we're talking about?
Yes, I'm so excited that we're talking about documentaries. And we were just saying before we started, Brunchers, that out of all the things that we talked about, and I've loved all of the themes of what we talked about, it's taken us this long to get to documentaries. And I think documentaries are so special because for a few reasons, right? So one, the information that it shares, and I'll say the truth that it shares, because truth can be, especially with documentaries, that can be a perspective. It could be a person's truth. It could be this person speaking, it's their truth, but the truth that it shares and how that truth impacts us. I feel like documentaries can leave a lasting impression and leave us with lessons that we can hold dear in ways that the scripted content, it's awesome. But when you know something is factual, you know that this story is real, it has existed in this plane, it just lands differently. And so I am so excited that we're going to comb through and we're going to talk about documentaries because they are important to the culture. They are important in terms of, especially now in this information age of AI, where we are always asking ourselves, is the thing that we're watching, is the thing that we're seeing, is it actually real? And so I think documentaries play a even stronger part in shifting the culture and carrying the culture. So this episode is titled Docs, Everybody! So yes, documentaries, baby. We're here for it.
All right. Thank you for that intro. I am so excited to talk about this. So I'm going to jump right into it. I think it's time for us to...
Pull back the curtain. What you got for us on this?
Okay, so I pulled up a bunch of top documentary lists and a bunch of different documentaries, and I kept seeing a couple of the same things, and there were a bunch of stuff that wasn't familiar to me, but there were a few that stood out that were super familiar to me. So I want to start this conversation by asking, what do you believe is the first documentary? The first documentary that's in your memory, whether you liked it or not. What's the first documentary?
The first one in your memory? That is my memory. It took me a minute. Do you want me to give you the title?
Yeah.
The first one I believe I remember was Paris is Burning.
I thought it was too, but it's not for me. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that was the 90s. It was early 1990.
Yeah.
I remember
Paris
I was 12
Burning.
or 13 when I saw
Paris
it.
and Burning, it was actually 1990.
Yeah, that's right. I was about 12 or 13 when I saw this, yeah.
Yeah, it definitely came out in 1990, but I'm pretty sure I did not see it when it came out. I didn't see Paris is Burning well until my 20s. So
wow.
I probably saw Paris is Burning a decade later. I had not really seen it. But one of the things that was in the top that kept coming up that I remember that I didn't realize I had seen. Do you remember a documentary called Hoop Dreams?
Yes.
It came out in 1994.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Yeah, it was about 2 black high school students in Chicago that were going to St. Joseph's High School, which was the high school of NBA star Isaiah Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
And so...
Oh, wow. You took me back.
And it followed their thing. And it talked about like so many of things like it got snubbed from the Oscars back then, and
Yep.
like there were all these controversies, but everyone kept talking about Hoop Dreams. And I went back and I was like, why did people like love Hoop Dreams so much, even though I didn't remember it? But before I get into that, what is the first documentary that you feel like changed your perspective, like had like an impact on you?
Maybe that's why I went to Paris is Burning, because it was the first one. I had some older cousins, they were in their teenage years. And so, I would hang out with them if my mom was working or whatever. And so I would watch whatever they were watching. And one of them, I think unbeknownst at the time, I think, he was queer. And I think at that age, I was starting to question. And I loved to dance. And of course, as a queer kid, not knowing he's a queer kid, I was drawn to the dance. But also, this is the early 90s, right? So I liked the flash of it. I liked the glamour of like what dance could look like. Mm-hmm. So here I am sitting here watching Paris is Burning, and they're talking about queer life, ballroom, voguing. I hadn't really heard these terms, and I hadn't seen this like almost like tapestry of Black queer youth kind of pushing against the system. Because I grew up like, I'm Black and I'm proud, very James Brown, very much into that. Yeah. But here's this queer take on it. Here's this spin on it. And I'm like, I like those people. I wanted to be a part of that scene. Mm-hmm. I wanted to be in it. If this is real, they were talking about New York City. It was all the things that I was thinking of. It had like connected all of my loves. It connected what I knew about myself and what I didn't know about myself at that time. Wow. And I just remember watching this thing with so much inspiration to wanting to be a part of that. And knowing, going back to the documentary, like that was real. Nobody had wrote that and then like had these people act it out, right? And it's also coming off the heels of the AIDS epidemic, right? So having been a kid living through that and seeing like we are still on the other side. Right. We have made it to the other side on some, and there's a lot of stuff in there too, but it really did call to me in a way that I just enjoyed. So I would say that's the one that like really opened my eyes to like just telling real stories. And that was it for me. What about you?
So the same movie kept coming in my head because it really did like change fundamentally how I thought about this particular topic. It was a documentary in 2002 called Bowling for Columbine.
Ooh, talk to this one.
So,
okay.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know what Bowling for Columbine is, it was a documentary about the 1999 Columbine High School massacre, where a young person, it was a school shooting, and it sparked this conversation around gun violence. And Michael Moore, the director and the filmmaker, started looking at how vastly different America's gun laws were to the rest of the world, and compared their statistics around gun violence and like deaths to guns, and how that is mitigated through the justice system. And it really changed how I felt or thought about guns, like fundamentally.
Say more.
I don't usually talk about this, but I did have an experience in the military. Okay. And like having that military experience, that, there's a certain level of respect and, bravado and programming around firearms.
Okay, I get that. I understand that.
In order to be a part of it, you have to have some type of relationship with firearms. And it has to be a healthy, positive relationship.
Wow, I really appreciate you bringing that up because as an educator, right, I've been teaching. Well, I've been an educator for 24 years. So that means I started in 2002. So Bowling for Columbine came out in 99. And
Well, the incident happened in 99.
sorry, the incident happened in 99.
99.
And then the movie came out in 2002.
Yes.
So I remember as a very young teacher hearing about the impact of this, right? And this idea that we were thinking that our country would be like, okay, let's pay attention to this because everybody was watching this movie. It was like, this documentary was like, there's a full stop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a break from all the sci-fi, fantasy, and stuff that we're watching. You have to really pay attention to what's happening here. So I remember as a school, we thought something was going to happen. So the drills we were doing were just fire drills. I was in a place that had tornadoes, so we're doing tornado drills. And that's it, right? Mm-hmm. Thinking about the drills that we need to do in case there's this imminent level of danger, what do our students need to do?
Which is not even solving the problem.
Which is not even solving the problem. It's making it worse. And I remember for years we did nothing. And I think it's because we thought something outside the school, right, government-wise, was going to happen. Because as an educator, I remember we looked at Bowling for Columbine like, this is a ringing of the alarm.
Yeah.
Right? This is the ringing of the bell. You have to pay attention to what's happening. And nothing did. It really wasn't until like maybe 8-9 years into me teaching that we started to do active shooter drills. And what's more fascinating, and this is why I love documentaries, if we think about it now, like 2026, we have students who have not only hundreds of students, maybe even thousands, that have not only survived a school shooting, they've now survived multiple.
Right.
Like they've, a school shooting, like I remember when the Brown University one just happened, and I have several students there. And there's a student in particular who says, this is actually my second one because my high school was also shot up.
We talked about the first documentaries that we remember. We talked about the documentaries that have impacted us.
Yes.
I want to talk about. I want to just get into our conversation today. So
let's get into it.
I looked at a couple of things. The top 5 documentaries
while you were doing your research.
The top 5 documentary.
Subgenres. Oh, so the top 5, I would assume
were so top 5 documentary subgenres were true crime,
of course,
science and nature.
That makes sense.
Pop culture, biographical, historical,
and history. That makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so those 5. So I thought it would be fun for us to talk about those 5 genres and our favorite few movies that fulfill those genres.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I really enjoyed doing this. This was fun.
It was so fun.
I think we should start with history.
Yeah, let's jump into
go on history. You go first.
I had a few in there. I think the first one I want to talk about is the Central Park 5 documentary. I believe that is on Netflix. And what I loved about this particular one is that this is a story that I feel like I grew up with as a teenager. It took me back to a time of when I really started to be angry about how I am being perceived as a black man in this country. And it doesn't shy away from any of that. And it doesn't leave their story there. Some documentaries I have a tough time with because sometimes there is no uptick. Sometimes there is no light at the end of the tunnel. Sometimes it just drops you in a pit because that is the story. And I think there are other times where there is more to share. And I hate when documentaries spend so much time talking about all of the stuff that went wrong, and then they give you the text frame at the end, but it doesn't end there.
But
here's
no,
a happy
I want to
ending.
please give me a happy ending.
I want to see
Tell the story, y'all.
I want to tell the story. And I feel like the Central Park 5 documentary attempted to do that, and those are the kind of documentaries I love. So I definitely want to jump in on the Central Park 5 one. That was a dope one.
Okay, so I only had one for the history one. So
Ooh, I only got 2 others, but which one you got?
I really enjoy a lot of history ones, but they all fall in media and all this different stuff. And I probably have mentioned all the documentaries that I've watched around media history. But this one stands out for me in a way. It's around music, but Summer of Soul.
Oh, good one.
I love a documentary about a historical event.
Summer Soul is great. I love that. Well, I only have two. These two, because one I watched recently. The one I watched recently was The U.S. and the Holocaust.
Oh, yeah.
Because the takeaway I got from that one was that it showed that we didn't become Nazi Germany. In actuality, Nazi Germany became us. Well, sorry, I said that backwards. Like Nazi Germany took its
They did
key.
become us. They formed the Holocaust based on Jim Crow.
Based on Jim Crow, and that's how we got the norm laws, and then our laws around gender, around gender affirming care. Well, lack of gender affirming care was literally the impetus for them creating these I think they're called TT laws, which was allowed them to experiment on these people that essentially they were hoarding as cattle. Like, it's just this interesting take on, like, yes, we have mourned that whole situation, but we cannot negate as a country our influence, our hand in it. It's just so raw like that. And then the other one was The 13th. I wanted to mention, and that one is a really deep tale on the prison to pipeline industrial complex about how much money is generated from having all of these people imprisoned, and no one does imprisonment like the United States, like no one. And it's just
we are 5% of the world's population, but we hold 20% of the world's prisoners.
Like, that is insane. And how we have marketed and how we have just made so much money. People have made billions and billions of dollars off of this. It was quite fascinating. So I would recommend those three for history. Absolutely.
Okay, great.
All right, so let's go on to something else.
All right, let's hop into science and nature, because I only have one for that too.
I only have one for that too, but I just wanted to say in terms of science and nature, oh my God, I hope I don't get teary-eyed. Like, I got to shout out my grandfather, Herbert Nezik, God rest his soul. I love you, Granddad. I remember coming home from school all the time in grade school, and he would always have on like a nature documentary, like bears just, how they hibernate, birds, how they migrate. And he would sit in his easy comfort chair, put his legs back, he had a little drink, and he would just sit there. And I'm like, I want to watch cartoons, and I want to watch, Price is Right. I want to watch like Ricky Lake and shit coming on, right?
He said, no, you're going to watch.
He said, no, we're going to watch. And I remember, like, it took me a while, but I got into it to the point where I would run home. I'd be like, yo, Granddad, what we doing today? He'd be like, we're doing dolphins today, whatever's on. And I learned so much about nature and realized that it allowed me, honestly, some of the nature documentaries are some of the most beautifully shot, calming and serene and easy to digest films I've ever watched. So I'm like, I would vote for all. I mean, I would recommend all of them. Find you a really good one that's really good, a good animal one. But the one I will bring up is I like Explained.
Okay. Oh, this is a whole doc series. Yeah,
it's a whole doc series, and they explain everything from like why diets fail to why you shouldn't, what happens to our bodies as we go through certain generations. It's just great. It's just a great show that literally tries to explain a lot of the things we're thinking about. So I would highly recommend from a scientifically researched, fact-based approach.
And I believe that's a Netflix docuseries, right?
I think it might be Netflix. I'm pretty sure I love to explain.
So this one was hard for me because these animals, I don't care.
He said, I don't care about you, Fozzie, Piggy, Kermit. Y'all go sit down.
If you don't know nothing else about me, there is something dead inside of me about these animals.
Ooh, it is.
Okay? I don't want nothing bad to happen to them, but I don't.
You want a part of it.
What they do over there at their house.
Keep your furry ass. Keep your furry, fluffy ass over there.
I feel like that is nosy. Like, I don't need to know what's going on over there.
I don't want to see this cheetah.
I don't need to know what's going on over there at your house and what y'all doing.
I'm going to mind my business.
And if I get eaten by a lion, it's because I was in his house. I had no business being over there.
So this means you never going to go on safari?
Absolutely not. Why am I doing that?
Keep my ass out the jungle, huh?
Did they invite me over there?
Okay.
That's none of my business.
Okay. No gorillas in the midst for you?
Okay. So,
Y'all, I wish you could have saw his face. He was almost like upset that I asked that question.
no.
Stop it.
So this genre was like a little hard for me, the subgenre, but I found one. So I went more of the science route.
Okay.
So I watched the Netflix docuseries "You Are What You Eat: The Twin Experiment."
The twin experiment. Okay.
Yeah. So it's a Stanford study on diet using 21 identical twins and had them both do an 8-week either vegan or omnivorous diet.
Oh, like one did the vegan and one did the omnivorous.
And did a battery of tests, like looked at their
This is fascinating.
nervous system, looked at their body mass, all of these different
probably
things.
Skin and I'm
Yeah.
assuming these 21 sets of identical twins are like they run the gamut demographically.
Yes, I did notice I didn't see any black women, but that just might be because I hadn't seen them in the shot. But they take 21, but they focus on 4 sets of twins.
Got you.
And 2 black men, 2 white men, 2 Asian women, and 2 black women.
So, 2 black women. Okay, okay.
They were South African.
Okay, okay.
And so they all lived in the LA area. And so what they did was they gave them these diets for 8 weeks. So for 4 weeks, they shipped them all the food that they needed to eat based on their separate diets. And then they told them to stay on their diet for the following 4 weeks, but they had to do all the cooking, preparing all their food themselves.
Okay.
And so they did that for 8 weeks, and like you saw, and they also gave them a trainer. They made sure that they were all exercising regularly.
I was gonna ask, like,
They gave them all a
Ooh.
trainer, and like so they were exercising regularly. They had some other support too. They also wanted to do a study on women's sexuality, like how. Because we've already proven that a vegan diet actually raises the sexual libido and activity and sexual function of men. There was a college male study, but they hadn't done a study in women.
Okay.
So they found out that with the vegan diet, it literally boosted all of these women's libido.
Everybody about to be out here vegan. Just from this alone.
Yes.
Oh, this do what?
All these vegan diets, like there were things that we didn't know. Like it was harder for some people to they were working out. It was harder for the people on the vegan diets to gain muscle mass. Everybody kind of lost weight with these healthy diets, but they weigh like fat mass, like pounds of fat and pounds of muscle. And they did a DEXA,
So everybody
DEXA
lost.
Fit scan. So everybody lost, but the people with the vegan diet, either they lost total weight, but they gained fat weight, but lost muscle
Interesting.
because they were doing all of this working out, but they weren't eating enough protein. So when they exercised, their body was using the muscle tissue for exercise.
Wow. Okay.
Because they weren't getting enough protein. And a lot of them were having protein-dense diet, vegan diets, but they weren't eating enough. Like they had to eat a lot of it.
Yeah.
And so a lot of them felt like they were eating too much. And so that was a different, but everything else, like they had better like brain function. They tested their biological age based their chronological age. Their biological ages dropped on the vegan diets. Like so they literally got younger.
Wow.
Like all of these vegan diets. And then also the documentary also talks about like how 20% of pollution or gas that's breaking up the ozone is from cattle. And so it also talks about like how eating less food products is actually better for the environment.
For the earth.
And so it really gave me a real big thought about like, because I have dabbled in like vegan dishes,
Yes.
but I've never like gone vegan. But with all of these like benefits and like how it would help our environment, I think I am going to eat less meat. So I've like talked to my husband about this and was like, I think I'm probably going to be eating less not just meat, but food products, like animal products, like milk, cheese, and like people they were talking about like how the hardest thing to give up was cheese, and it was like it's by design because there's these special hormones that are in cheese that make you addicted to cheese.
Okay, but I'm not gonna hold you. Because you still got to make me my macaroni and cheese. I'm not going to play with you, Roger. I love you, but I'm not going to hold you now.
I macaroni and cheese, I feel like the holidays is the only time, because my husband is allergic to dairy. I feel like macaroni and cheese is like the holidays is around the time where I probably eat cheese the most, if not at all.
I understand. Do you just if that's what I need to come around, and I don't need you tinkering with that recipe because now you don't play. Listen, Roger, I love you, but don't play with me.
I may go like if these benefits go as well as I think they will go with like
I'm sure they will.
Limiting my like meat product intake. If I'm out, listen,
you about to blow my whole eyebrows back.
If I'm out here looking younger, honey,
you can look. But
if I'm out here looking younger, feeling younger, brain function done increase.
I understand. And I'm here for all of that.
If I get all of these benefits, and they talking about, I'm going vegan.
Okay. You know what? I might be your cut. I might get.
Listen,
I'll do a day or two with you.
If I finish this year doing this whole thing and I end up becoming a vegan, it's because I look glorious, honey.
I mean, first of all, you already look glorious, so we ain't gonna play that game. But second, I get what you're saying. I just need one.
I'm gonna show up looking like 16-year-old me.
Oh God. Oh, I don't need you acting like 16-year-old you. Just out here being
that's me now.
Mannish. I just being just fast and mannish. I don't need you to do all of that. But I feel you on that. But that's what documentaries are supposed to do. They're supposed to
but there are plenty of documentaries out here that are like, oh, vegan diets are bad, blah 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 blah. But like, this was really a fly on the wall for like a study at Stanford.
Yeah, right. And it's presented in that way. I love that. I love that it changes. I love the changes. And you know what? I'm here for it. Don't play with me.
What?
Don't play with my macaroni and cheese. Don't play with me.
All right. I'm gonna make your macaroni and cheese.
You ain't got to eat it.
You right. I ain't got to eat it. I do got to taste it in order to make sure I'm serving it to you.
Have mercy.
I'm not gonna.
I'm not
going to serve no food.
One little bite ain't going to stop it.
I'll be all right. I'll take a little.
You was a disciplined man. Okay.
All right. So.
You want to jump over? We should save pop culture to the end.
I think we should. Let's jump on over to true crime.
Okay. Now, baby, I ain't going to hold you. You know this is where, I sit here.
Where?
I sit in true crime.
Okay. Give me one. Give me one.
I'm going to give you OG. If you can't do nothing else, you don't watch nothing else, go watch some Snapped. Baby, that's the narrator for him, right? And that lady's voice, Viola, thought she could get away.
Oh, you know what?
Like, it's so great.
Listen, the only thing I really listen to, like true crimes, is there's just amazing guys. If you can get it, you can get. I don't talk about other podcasts on my podcast, but I love this podcast. This podcast is called Sisters Who Kill.
Yo, I love Sisters Who Kill because the way they talk about it,
I love that. I love that documentary. I love that series.
It's so good. It's so good.
I love that podcast so much.
My fiance and I, we were driving for the holidays. We were listening to that one. So, because we usually listen to Murder with My Husband, but since you introduced me to Sisters Who Kill, baby, we play both of those.
So, if you guys haven't heard of Sisters Who Kill, Sisters Who Kill is a podcast hosted by two Black women that talk about true crimes committed by Black women.
And it's good. And the way they do it is so good. But I just love like the formulaic of Snapped. And
the empathy for the women.
There's very big
that
empathy.
They're talking about.
And it's just like, right? And I know I made fun of the text ending, but Snapped always gives you a text ending.
They give you a nice little.
And you be like, ooh. And sometimes they drop some bombs. You're like, really? That bitch got away with it, did she? Oh, shit. Like, it's so good. I will forever love Snapped.
Okay.
So what you got?
I saw snips of this documentary. And then I finally got to see it in full. It's called The Perfect Neighbor.
Baby, What you say?
So the perfect neighbor, through
I'm sweating, y'all.
laying out of police body cam, followed the history of a murder of a black woman by her neighbor, a white woman who terrorized the neighborhood and pretty much weaponized the police, frequently on the children in the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
It was a white woman, predominantly black neighborhood,
Mm-hmm.
and they were all renters in this
All of them.
neighborhood. So there were no ownership or trespassing issues that were happening, but this woman got into a situation with one of the mothers, and the mother went to go over and confront this white woman, and through her front door, she shot this black woman.
And this is Florida, right? And so, and to that part, y'all, if you watch this, I don't recommend watching this around little eyes because there's, they also use ring cam footage.
They use ring cam footage and they use all the footage from the police officers.
And so she gets into this confrontation with this woman and she is shot and killed and her children see it. In Florida, this one, they made it pretty clear that
it didn't even fit within the standard ground lines.
It doesn't fit within that, even though that's thrown into the story. So I definitely think you should watch it for all of those reasons. It's a great one.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay.
Go ahead. Go.
Well, okay, I can do one more, but I got a couple more, but I'll do this one here. Mm-hmm. Everybody I've showed this documentary to and told to watch the documentary, it blows their whole wig back.
Go ahead.
The Murtaugh murders.
Ooh.
Now, baby.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not even going to say nothing. I always tell them this. Start at episode 1. You are not going to believe how this whole damn thing plays out. But I will say this. It is, I don't want to say a stereotypical tale of Southern Americana, but I will say what go in good old boy country when things go wrong, like they go all the way wrong. When we look at people on whatever, all the platforms, and we think they have this perfect life, we think that everything is all put together, you really do not know the demons that people are fighting.
You never know.
And money aside. So, yeah.
All right. So I'm going to go with this one other one. It's a docuseries.
Ooh.
Baby, it is messy. Mess.
Oh, my eyes are lit up.
It's so sad. Unknown Caller, the high school catfish.
That?
Have you watched that?
Girl!
I said
child cheese.
And you know what? The documentarian, y'all ain't shit. Because
you did not
the way
miss,
y'all laid out this documentary series had me all the way fucked up.
Brunchers, y'all can see us. We got our hands on our hips. We are
had me all the way fucked up.
We are fit, baby.
I'm gonna give away this documentary because you being surprised the way I was surprised, that was a crime. So that was irresponsible. They should have never done it that way.
Yes, they should have.
So this documentary is about
great.
These 13-year-old kids, Midwest Trump area America, probably.
It's very MAGA. It gives MAGA.
Yeah, it gives very MAGA neighborhood. These two little white kids, 13 years old, and they're dating, and they're getting these terrorizing texts from an unknown caller. Mm-hmm. The texts are about like trying to break them up, saying to the young girl that's getting the text, they're telling her to kill herself and that her boyfriend doesn't want her and that she's ugly and that, your boyfriend wants saying all these sexually graphic things to this 13-year-old. We get down to the end.
Okay, wait, though. So, brunchers, don't be like, okay, it's just, no. These texts, when he says were relentless.
They were telling her to kill. They were getting up to 50 text messages a day.
It was relentless. And then anybody who intervened, they would get it relentlessly. And this was, you could literally see it. It makes a lot of sense of why these young people were getting bogged down and their mental health was deteriorating.
The young man had gotten violent, had gotten into several fights, and he was
he
angry
couldn't have
all the
a
time.
he couldn't have relationships because he would date another girl. He would get all these texts again. So I just want you to know that the picture that Roger's being really kind, but just trust us when we tell you.
And that little girl was being told to kill herself regularly, over and over and over again. And come to find out, they said the calls are coming from within the house. So they found out.
No, when they say they find out, not the police, baby.
The FBI got into this. Come in because it has gotten so big that they can't. Because another teenage girl had gotten accused because this woman had set up this other teenage girl who was a bully anyway. But she was like, y'all, I'm a bully, but I ain't done this, y'all. This ain't
and I believed her. Because she was like, I know I'm a lot.
I know, right. She was
but
like,
I'm not that.
Documentary, she was pretty much like, I know I'm a lot.
I'm a lot.
I didn't do all of
She's
this,
like, I will cuss a bitch out. But it'll stop right there. That's where it is. There.
But, it turned out to be this little girl's mama.
Her own
mammy. Mother was sending these text messages to her. And this woman was sending sexually explicit, harassing, detailed text messages.
Yeah, she was it was like filthy.
Her daughter and to her daughter's boyfriend. To her 13-year-old daughter.
Yep.
She was telling her 13-year-old daughter up to 50 times a day to go kill herself.
Now, y'all.
And then comforting her later.
Y'all, when I tell you, I had to pause. But what's really great about this documentary is that they show you the reaction of the family. Like when the family finds out.
Yeah, the family finding out.
They show
that
you that.
Like, that was amazing. But
that's crazy.
But the fact that y'all had me through this whole documentary not knowing who it was.
I love it.
And they had her sitting up there just doing interviews talking like she didn't do it.
She had her own confessionals.
She was sitting there just talking.
I love it.
Just up and when she came home, she was distraught and she was just crying to my arms.
I went over to Agnes's house. We were trying to figure out.
We were trying to figure, and we were planning, trying to figure out where this was coming from. Because we were both really concerned. Blah, 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 blah. And then come to find out, girl, it was you the whole time?
And they kept filming because she had confessionals after y'all. We didn't give away the plot twist, but we kind of didn't. Because you gotta hear
when
her explanation. It's crazy.
It is wild. This woman is horrible.
And even though we're like we're making light of it, like it really does beg the question of like not beg the question. It begs us to really take mental health and wellness seriously. Like, you got to hear this woman's explanation. It will drop you on the floor.
She's out of her mind. There's
but
no
the
way.
thing is, she's the most rational that she could be with all that she's dealing with. That's all I can say. Like, she is the most put together. That doesn't mean she's put together, but with all of that shit that's in her head, she could articulate.
Yeah. She could tell you exactly what the mind frame she was because she was bifurcating her personality.
Oh my God.
And being one person to her daughter and then a completely different person to her daughter. It was crazy. And then my favorite part of this documentary is when they tell her daddy.
Daddy, and they show you.
Listen, I ain't never seen. Listen, I'm not gonna pray. I very rarely will get on here and be praising white men, but that white man, he stood up for his daughter.
Period.
He stood down on business. He was like, they told her from outside the house. He didn't even go in the house. First thing he did was call her parents and say, she gonna have to come to your house.
Yep.
He said, listen, I'm just letting you know, whatever they do, if they don't take her to jail, she got to come to your house because she can't stay here.
That man practiced so much restraint. Like, I feel like Jesus was on his shoulder.
He literally walked in the door and was like, he said, don't come over here. He said, what? I need you to go. Whatever, get your things, whatever they going to do with you, I don't care what they do. If they don't do nothing with you, you got to leave here. Your parents are on the way.
Yeah. Like it answers the question, okay, so now that we know this, what happened when the family was told you see it? Like they answered the question. You want to know what happened?
That poor young girl.
But it's and there's stuff that we didn't even tell y'all that dropped in this. So even though we gave you the plot twist, there's a few more
it's still
in
a
there.
good documentary.
There's a few more in there.
It was I just don't want you. I felt assaulted when they did that to me.
Baby,
I did not love it. I was like, this
so
is
bad.
rude.
Okay, can I just two offers real quick?
Go ahead.
So in the same vein, I think if you want to check out some good episodic true crime, check out The Worst Roommate Ever or The Worst Neighbor Ever. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of in the same vein of this one we were talking about here, the one you just mentioned. The people are crazy. So if you want some true crime ones, I would suggest those two as well.
All right, we got plenty of time. I think we did. You know what we did? We skipped over. Did we do biography?
No, we didn't do biography.
Let's do biography real quick.
Okay.
All right. So I'm just gonna shout out my three real quick.
Oh,
I'm not gonna
three.
talk about them. I'm gonna give them my three.
Mm-hmm.
So Being Eddie, the documentary
that
series,
so
Eddie
good.
Murphy and Netflix. Pee-wee as himself on HBO Max.
Oh my God.
That was incredible. And Call Me Miss Cleo on HBO Max.
Call Me Miss Cleo. Which one was that about?
It's about Call Me Now, Miss Cleo from the Psychic Friends Network.
Oh, that one. Okay. So I'll go with the two that I have. There was one for Amy Winehouse that I thought that was interesting.
Oh, Amy.
Amy, that was good. And there was one, I got to go back to the O.J. Simpson one because that was the one, that documentary did him no favors. And so I remember, you remember watching the whole trial, if the glove don't fit, must have quit kind of thing. And like for a second, we was like, okay, OJ, we good. He coming back. And then they dropped this goddamn documentary. And I felt like he kind of told on himself.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And I'm like,
yeah,
I think you did it at the end of this documentary. So I'm going to throw out those two. Like, that was those who were kind of like life changing.
Before the documentaries, like, for opening credits, I thought he did it. But
no. Let's be clear. Yes.
We all know.
But I was like, okay, well, we we got black men getting acquitted. We'll live with that. And here's what I wanted to ask. I guess that's not a biography, but what's love got to do with it movie? Like I think, like when I think about,
it's because it's fictional.
It's fictional. It's but
it is her story, but it's still a fictional.
And it's interesting because I went looking for it, and like there's really no documents. Tina is a part of other like musical documentaries, but there's not one of like.
I think there is a documentary called Tina. I think there is a documentary.
I thought there was a movie too. Maybe I looked at it wrong. But
I could be wrong, but I believe there is a documentary called Tina.
Oh, yes. It came out on HBO Max. I just didn't see it.
Yeah.
It came out in the last few years. So
yeah.
You know what? Then I'm going to go watch that one.
Yeah.
You're right. It came out 3 years ago. Tina. All right. I'm going to check it out.
Okay.
All right.
So let's go ahead and get into pop culture. The messy mess. Mess.
These were so good. Okay. What do you got on pop culture?
All right. So
kick us off.
My first one is The Cult of the Real Housewife.
I have been waiting for you to talk about housewives, and I finally got you to talk about one.
This
shit?
Cult of a housewife? Yeah. I didn't know. I could not for the life of me understand how the Salt Lake City housewives got popular.
Why? It was so good.
Well, I know why now because
you all had
this lady on here.
We had Jen Shaw.
Y'all had Mary Cosby.
Yes.
Everybody was going to jail.
And everybody knew this story.
Every season there was somebody.
No, there was only one person that went to jail.
One person went to jail, but everybody had like a scandal. So Mary Cosby got a cult in Salt Lake City, Utah.
It's funny because we Christians, right? Like we church boys. But when you see like certain Christianity played out on TV, you be like, oh, that's just church. And other times you're like, that's a damn cult. Like we can see it because it's like.
I remember So I went over to my friend's family's church, and we've been friends for a really long time, but I had never been to his church, and I think this was a time that I didn't want to commute into Brooklyn for church anymore. I wanted to go to church like in the neighborhood.
Okay,
and so I went to his church, and I promise you, I was like, oh, I think this might be a cult.
Right?
Because it felt like a very Black, like Christian, like church, but they were praising like this other woman's name that wasn't Mary,
right.
that her picture was on the wall. And I was like, wait, are we saying that lady right there is God? Because I don't want to.
And I know you didn't watch these,
I don't want
but
to
in
do
the
this.
early seasons with Mary Cosby, she had filmed in her church, and they would walk over to her and they wouldn't be like, "Good morning, Sister Cosby." They were like, "We thank God for you, Mary. We thank God for who you are and what you do for you."
Now,
and you're just
there's no wrong. There's nothing wrong with someone believing that someone here in present day is a deity, because that's what I mean. Listen, that's exactly. Hold on, hear me out. That's exactly what was happening during the time of Jesus. Like, there were these people that were believing that this person was of a
Roger.
of a deity. If we believe that, all right, if people are believing that they're Christians, you have to open mind. The difference
My mind is open, but girl,
the difference is it's okay to believe that if they're behaving like Jesus. But these people were not behaving like Jesus.
I'm not gonna give you that. Because there's some documentaries I can show you where they was behaving like Jesus and everybody got burned up. So
no, they were not. First of all, you're not behaving like Jesus if you all get burned up.
Okay. I'm not gonna do this. On a scale of 1 to what's going on, how high are you right now? Because
I'm very high.
Okay.
I think it's less important.
I know what you're saying.
I think it's less important that they're calling this person God, and more important that what these people were doing with that.
I know, to make it.
They were like extorting these people of all of this
the doors,
money, intimidating them. Like, there's all of this weird slave labor.
Yeah, and she did marry her granddaddy. So
and she married her granddaddy.
Like, I'm still
she
stuck
was like,
there.
This is my grandmother's husband. She's like, no, that was the man that was grandpappy from the time you were like 6.
Like, I can't.
Yikes.
And her son is Robert Jr. Like, I can't.
I can't. Like, first of all, sir, how are you marrying a young woman that used to call you grandpappy? Blood or not?
Right.
That's gross.
But there's something going on, because the sister in the doc, apparently before this released, her and Mary made up. So I'm like,
Mary,
did you do this? No, wait a minute. Did you do this because you wanted a check too? Because ain't no way. I love my family, but had a sibling of mine got on this good camera and said all she said, it's up and it's stuck. Like, we ain't ever gonna be cool again. They out in these streets walking around. So I'm like, what's
well, listen, you okay with them walking around if what they said about you was true? If what they said about you was true, and you had a come to Jesus moment, I'm hoping that's what happened. I don't think that's what happened.
Okay, that's okay. I'll give you that. I
don't think that's what
happened.
Okay,
all right, but that one was
Mary
good.
Cosby don't look like she giving nobody money back.
I mean, no. So yeah, after the end of this one, I was like side-eyeing. I was like, Cosby. Because on the show, she's a fan favorite.
Yeah, because she just disappeared for a season. And then came back to
because it was a little dry. It was a little dry,
half a season, and then everybody was like, "Oh, we love Mary so much," and I was like, "Y'all just come forget about how she was running a cult."
And so, well, now we can't. So I don't even know how this is gonna play out, but I'm gonna keep watching to the reunion and see if they talk about it. So
if they talk about it,
I'll keep you posted.
All right. Well, I got some mess.
What you got?
So you're not gonna recognize this. It wasn't this. I think this fell over the radar of Black people, and I'll explain to you why. It's called Brandy Hellville, The Cult of Fast Fashion. Brandy Melville, The Cult
Now
of
you're going to make me
Fast
write this
Fashion.
down. What is this about?
Okay, so before I say anything, have you ever heard of Brandy Melville?
Yes. I'm trying to remember where, though.
Because you work with teenagers, so you know what Brandy Melville is. Brandy Melville is a clothing brand.
Okay. Yes, I do. Keep going.
It's a clothing brand, and it's a clothing brand that is very popular with young white teenagers.
Yes.
And, that is by design. So I learned about, I wanted to watch the documentary because I learned about Brandy Melville way before I had ever heard of the documentary.
Really?
And it's because, all right, so I have a very good friend, and their daughter is like a niece to me. She's very young. She's a teenager. So back when she was a teenager, she's in her early 20s right now. But back when she was a teenager, I was hiring some interns, and I was like, I kind of worried about like, what their politics are going to be like when they come on the job. But they're college students, blah, blah, blah. And so my niece at the time said to me, she goes, you want to know if they're, a little racist? And I was like, what do you mean?
What?
She was like, if they're a white girl, if it's a white girl, I want you to ask them, I want you to compliment their shirt, and I want you to say, is that Brandy Melville? And I was like, what? What is Brandy Melville? She was like, just do it. And I want you to look for these two reactions. If they go, ew, oh no, I would never wear that, they're good. If they go, oh, Brandy Melville, I don't know what that is, they're good. But if they go, how do you know what Brandy Melville is? Don't hire them. That's what she's racist.
What? Wow, girl.
And I was like, what do you mean? And then, I listened to her, and she was like, it's for very basic white girls, and they're about the only basic white girls that really identify with being a basic white girl wear those clothes.
Ooh,
and
lies.
I was like, shut up. And I was like, and then I watched the documentary, and comes to find out that this was a company that was basically based on the Instagram images of young girls, and they didn't have any marketing. They only marketed through young girls' Instagrams. They would have them come in the store, and they'd be like, hey, can we take a picture of you? We're going to put you on our Instagram, and then would follow the girl.
That's how they did it?
And then it would end up getting more and more all these young girls were getting Instagram followers in the thousands because of their interconnected communities on Instagram.
On Instagram.
So they became popular because they sought all the popular girls in their areas and became a major brand. And this particular person that was running the company only wanted to use young white girls. And when they had, people of color that were in the store, they would make the people of color work in the stock room. And only the white people, only young, pretty white girls could be at the register or in the front.
Some shit.
Yes.
You put the ugly heifers in the stock room?
Yes. They exposed, there was an article that ended up exposing everything they did. And there was a big hush. They didn't come out. And they did not come out with an apology, nothing.
Oh.
They didn't.
I get why your friend said what she said.
And they stood on business and didn't say anything and kept pumping out. And their brand is still going strong.
Huh. Thank you for that.
Brandy Melville. But it also talks about the whole how fast fashion is impacting our environment. It's inherently fast fashion industry is exploitative of Black people, Black
Always
Africans, and of women.
Always has
from
been.
beginning to end, from end to end.
Excuse me.
Go, come on, give me your mess.
I got it. Okay, my mess is Dark Side of the 90s, girl. Listen. Ooh. We have talked about this. I love being, I love my R&B from 90s. I love all things 90s. You give me Home Alone. You give me Boys to Men. You give me all of this shit. You give me MTV. I'm here for the Jerry Springer. I'm here for the Ricky Lake. And I'm like, yeah, the 90s was great. The 90s was awesome. The 90s was wild.
You ain't lying.
The 90s was on
wild.
some wild ass shit. And half of it, I felt like, did I just compartmentalize? Did I just block this out
Did I
and numb
block
myself?
all of that out?
Like,
did I just
everything
try not to
from
remember
like
any of that?
the shit that went down. There was ugliness behind Barney. There was ugliness behind Beanie Babies. There was ugliness behind TRL. Like, it's just everybody, teenagers, the exploitation of young actors. It's Girls Gone Wild. All of that stuff showed up there, and it's our real fascination with the salacious side of reality TV.
God.
All
Girls
of this started.
Gone Wild.
That's a documentary in and of itself. But
awful.
all of this, so there's 3 seasons of it. I think it's Hulu, but I will still love the 90s for the parts that I love it for. But y'all, there was a dark side. There was a clear dark side, and it's buck wild.
Well,
so,
speaking of the 90s, well, I think this is probably more early 2000s. Quiet on the Set, the dark side of kids TV.
That was a mess.
When they
I would never look up at Nickelodeon again.
Who that little boy was, whose identity had never been revealed, and we found out it was one of the stars of Drake and Josh.
I was hot.
We was like, wait a minute, what?
There is a list. Okay, brunchers. For our non-black brunchers, I need you to understand we have a list. We have a list of white people that black people fuck with, okay? And Drake and Josh was on that damn list.
They were.
Okay? And then that's almost like saying somebody did something to Reba McEntire. Not my Reba. Like, we get serious about some of our people. Like, what's her name? Dolly Parton. Not my Dolly.
Right.
So when we saw Drake come up,
when Drake Bell came,
I said, "Not my Drake."
Sat down in that seat on that episode and put his face up in there. We was like, "Wait a minute!"
Hot.
And then all the things they did to those black actors that broke my heart.
That is heartbreaking.
And I was like, "Oh my God, yes!" That awful, awful thing that they kept doing to Ariana Grande, putting stuff in her face.
Yes, it's disgusting.
He had her put her foot in her mouth,
and I couldn't believe I forgot his name. But you remember the show Head of the Class?
Oh yeah.
Because that would have Robin Givens. That's the only reason why we were watching it, because it had Robin Givens in it.
Yeah, Dan Schneider, but he was the chunky, nerdy dude. But yeah, I will never look at. He was disgusting.
He was Period.
I was like, wait a minute, oh my gosh, the logo for Nickelodeon was a foot.
You will never look at Nickelodeon the same. I'm gonna leave it right there.
We raised a whole generation of kids on some man's foot fetish. Think about that.
I'm done.
Think about that, Nickelodeon.
Right, that's a hot ass.
Sit down with that one.
So, all right, I'm gonna bring it over to. We're gonna keep it. We still in this. We back in the 90s. So I'm gonna bring up Freaknik, girl.
Oh, I was so worried about that documentary.
Why was you worried?
Because I was there, honey. I was afraid. I'm afraid that there was going to be footage of me, my hot ass.
Was you like, no, let me see. That was you?
You know me.
You was Doodle Brown.
You know me
well.
You
was Doodle Brown.
You know me well.
Ooh, child. And I'm like, I watched it twice to see if I recognized anybody. I said, because I know somebody's aunties and mamas and uncles up in there.
Yeah, I was worried I was going to show up on some footage, and I was like, oh, God, please no.
Oh, my God.
I did not.
Okay.
I really didn't care for that one that much. I felt like they didn't do a good job keeping the tension through the thing.
Yeah.
It's really important. They told a lot of different things, but there was a point where I was like, all right, y'all.
You're right, because I think the reason why I bring it up is just, again, a part of something I had seen.
Yep,
I had wanted to be a part of a messiness when I was a teenager. Like, oh, that's something that I always wanted to go to. And I think that's the great thing about documentaries is like, no matter what your age is, I think there is something for everyone there. And I think even if it isn't rated the highest, even if it didn't hit all the elements, I think nostalgia can also play a part into it.
Absolutely. I absolutely enjoyed most of that documentary because, partly I was there.
Right.
I was,
Now,
I was at the one that shut it all down.
now,
I was
can
at
we
the last
can we
one.
do an honorable mention real quick?
Well, go ahead. Go for it.
Now, I think there need to be a new category for documentaries,
What?
and I think there should be a category called a subgenre called petty.
Ooh. Oh, yeah, because we got to talk about this documentary. Yes. It's
And
a
I
petty.
think
I know exactly what you're talking about.
and I think, baby, the reckoning of Sean Combs. I think I have never seen outside of our current president anybody more petty than Curtis 50 Cent Jackson.
I'm just going to call him Curtis. Curtis. Curtis.
I mean, Curtis, you's a petty ass.
Curtis, you ain't got no business talking about nobody.
First of all, you don't. You really don't.
You ain't got no business.
Because I feel like yours is. I feel like yours is next.
Yours is next. You got some allegations yourself, sir.
I feel like somebody's next,
sir.
Howsoever,
every person that has ever had a bad rumor about that carried a bad piece of rumor about Sean Combs, and some of it, a lot of this, I believe. I believe victims.
Yeah,
I definitely believe victims.
Yes,
but everybody that had a bone to pick with Sean Combs, you put them in this documentary, along with buying the documentary footage that Diddy himself hired but did not pay for. Which is why they were able to get to
and we talked about this offline. The storytelling, this is one of those documentaries. Like here's what it kind of gives you. Here's what we think happened, right? And here's this footage, and we're gonna leave it to you.
Oh yeah, so
they did that so much.
So much. There was the way it recontextualized images for me so many different times.
Yes.
There would be like. They would show you.
What do you mean by recontextualizing? Because I think people don't know.
They would show you a picture of a young picture of Diddy, young Sean, 8th grade. They show you that picture, and then they start doing some storytelling around his life and what his home life might have been during that time period. And they do this storytelling of suggesting that his mother may have been really abusive to Sean when he was a child. And then they show this picture again.
The same picture again.
Same picture. And you're looking at it and you're like, wait, does he have a black eye?
And then they might get the same picture again the third time, but they go in, zoom in a little bit more.
Just a little bit closer. And you'd be like, oh, wait.
And you know who does that?
Ooh.
Snapped.
Oh, yeah.
They do that all the time.
This documentary did such a good job of showing you those things. And I was like, I loved like the way this was crafted. Now, there's parts of this documentary that has been, talked about that has said, there are some of these things that are not true. This will not have happened. I also believe that a thing cannot be true and other things can be true. It doesn't invalidate the entire documentary for me.
Yes, and I think that's the power of this one. It's like, okay, maybe I don't agree with how far you went with the documentary, but I think with my own intuition, I land somewhere in between it not being true and where you said this is where it hit. Like it pushes you. That's what I liked about it, because it was like, we think it happened like this, but we're just going to show you the footage and you come to your own determinations. And what's wild about it is the chronological order, right? We witnessed all of these things because, we grew up with music through the 80s and through the 90s, and we grew up with a very young intern, Sean Combs. We saw all of this. We watched all of these things launched, and it's just how it unfolded is quite amazing. So if there's a subgenre called petty, baby, this one here. And honestly, because he is such a big figure, and I do this for myself. Anytime, especially if there's a black figure that's big, I'm going to watch a documentary if you're going to put it together. Because, he is what he is. When you think of 90s music, you think of 90s culture, his name is synonymous. And I will say that, but whatever the reason is, the storytelling is a lot better than that other fool who we don't mention, his documentary. Like, I think this one here, this one leaves you with like, you can come to your own determinations. Now, I think the saddest piece is that now his sons are getting ready to release a documentary from their perspective. And you remember when I mentioned the OJ thing?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this is what's going to happen. I feel like his two sons, who are reckless in many ways,
to say some stuff.
are going to say some shit or give us some footage or some visual that is not going to land well.
Because people that grow up in abuse think abuse is normal.
See what I'm saying? So I'm actually legitimately nervous for that. But that one, check it out, y'all. Honestly, if you was a fan of any 90s music, I think you should check it out just for that alone.
Yeah, so I think that is all the genres.
That feels good, yeah.
I do want to give a quick playlist, okay?
A playlist?
A playlist of documentaries. Call it a syllabus.
Okay. Let me hear it.
I'm calling this the Don't Be a Dick documentary playlist. Okay?
Don't Be a Dick documentary playlist.
So
hit me with it.
If you could be in some form or fashion a dick, if somebody has ever called you a dick, or people don't want to invite you to stuff because you
cantankerous.
You always saying something.
You a wet blanket.
You always saying. You
doing the most.
You always saying something wild. If you get into arguments at Thanksgiving a lot because you done said something wild,
ooh,
you
know that ain't your daddy.
You probably want to give it like I think I want to vote for Trump. You're like one of those.
Oh wow, that's wild as fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
If you say one of those, I got this playlist for you that you need to watch to just get your mind together.
Well, I like this. Give it to us now.
Okay. So the first documentary, number one, is a Netflix documentary called Disclosure. And Disclosure is about a camp for the disabled run by hippies in the 60s where these young disabled teenagers for the first time experience their disability being normalized and having their made the world more accessible to them.
It's such a tearjerker.
The generation of teenagers became the young adults that led to the revolution that led to the American with Disabilities Act.
It's excellent. It's excellent. Yes.
Yeah, it's great. So that's one. Number two, I'm sorry, not Disclosure. Did I call that Disclosure? That was Crip Camp, not Disclosure. Did I call that documentary Disclosure?
You did.
Okay, it's not Disclosure.
It is Crip Camp.
That documentary is called Crip Camp.
Disclosure is a documentary as well.
Number two is Disclosure, the documentary around trans visibility in media and how that affects our ideas of trans people.
Yes.
Number three.
That was great too.
That's a
tearjerker too.
Yeah. Number three is the 1619 Project.
Say less. I mean, my God.
Yeah, you need to watch that.
You need to just watch that. My God.
Number four is called The Janes on HBO Max.
Haven't watched this.
The Janes on HBO Max is basically the women that were taking care of women in the years before Roe v. Wade.
I lied.
Helping people, helping women get abortions. And before Roe v. Wade, when it was illegal, and led to the organization that later became known as Planned Parenthood.
Yeah, it's wild to see that the same struggles that they go through there, like we're still in it. Mm-hmm. It's going back to the Columbine conversation we were having. We're still in it.
Going back there.
Anyway, keep going.
Yeah. So the Janes.
I did see this one.
You need to watch the Janes. You need to watch Queer History. The HBO Max series.
Absolutely. Oh, yes, the HBO Max series. Absolutely.
And then finally, you need to watch Stamped from the Beginning on Netflix.
I have not watched this one.
So Stamped from the Beginning historically gives you the founding of what would be known as modern day global anti-Blackness. Like where it comes from, how it was created, how white supremacy is stemmed from it, and really gives you the historical reference of why Americans, or not even just Americans, but globally, Blackness is seen less than.
It's
It's an amazing, amazing documentary.
I would recommend this. And honestly, I would recommend this, y'all brunchers, to your white friends. Because I need to watch this one, too.
I didn't want to say white people. I just want to say don't be a dick. Because not all white people got this stuff.
I'm talking about specifically for that one. Because if you want to really have a conversation, if you're really trying to have them have a real conversation, have them watch that one. I would say...
I don't have white friends that I need to have watch them. I have all my white friends will have all watched it on their own.
Okay, well, ma'am, girl, I'm in the business of education, okay?
I don't have those kind of white people in my life.
Oh, my God, girl. Okay, Miss Devereaux.
The champagne is bad. This white woman doesn't know how to educate herself.
This Balenciaga caviar is not a beluga. I didn't ask for beluga caviar, honey. But yes, I love this list. That's absolutely the tea.
Okay.
That is the tea.
So yeah, I think that is our show for today.
Oh, it was such a good show. I'm so glad we finally did that.
I'm so glad we were great. Happy New Year, brunchers.
Yes, Happy New Year, y'all.
What do you want to tell the people?
I want to tell the people, like, it's 2026. You don't owe anybody anything.
Ooh, with this new year, instead of doing something new, I'm gonna go back to doing something old. I've decided that I want to continue saying in my tagline at the end of every episode,
"You are enough, just as you are."
Yep, that's what it is. All right, so in 2026, I want to go back to saying at the end of every show, "You are enough, just as you are."
Yes.
Brunchers, thank you all for listening.
Thank you so much, y'all. See you next time.
See ya.
Bye, y'all.